So if you watched my last video, I said the M829A3 round on the Abrams was going to be the round that finally dealt with Russian ERA. Yeah, I was wrong. Data miners found a secret unannounced relic buff. The new Abrams hull is stuck in a classified document nightmare, and there's a lot more going on the heavy cavalry update than when I first covered it. So let's get straight into it. Gaijin has responded and actually did listen to some community feedback. The F16AM Premium, the one I called a lazy copy-paste, got changed to a Dutch variant with a lightning pod. Is it a massive difference? Not really, but the backlash worked, so that's something. The broken damage model on the PUMA also got acknowledged. Gaijin admitted it's wrong and said a proper spawn liner rework is planned in the future. Gaijin also put out a statement this week admitting that outsourcing team used AI-generated textures on some vehicles without authorization. The premium M60 Predator shipped with one of those AI-generated textures, and a Gemini AI watermark showed up in artwork for the Challenger 2 Senrai Maiden's anime skin. According to Gaijin, this violated their outsourcing agreements, and now they are reviewing content from that contractor. I guess we gotta give them credit where it's due. They addressed it publicly and didn't try to pretend it never happened. But that's not the end of the story. Now let's talk about the things players and data miners started finding. The M829A3 Dart was supposed to be the ultimate anti-ERA round. In real life, it has a special tip designed to trigger ERA early so the main penetrator can punch through cleanly. In War Thunder though, as per reports, it does 4mm or more penetration than the older M829A2. That's it. The problem is that War Thunder's penetration formula doesn't really model what makes the M829A3 special. It mostly sees a heavier projectile moving slightly slower, so the anti-ERA design that made the round famous doesn't really exist in the game. And in other news, data miners found out that Relikt ERA received a massive secret buff. Its kinetic resistance was increased by 55%. So the round designed to defeat ERA isn't getting its real-world advantages, while the ERA itself got significantly stronger. Top-tier US players are not exactly happy right now. Speaking about things US players aren't happy about, the M1A2C hull armor situation is still ongoing. Players noticed that the hull armor is basically the same as the original M1 Abrams from the 1979. They filed bug reports and backed them up with manufacturer interviews, Department of Defense documents, and even calculations based on the armor geometry visible in War Thunder's own model. Gaijin rejected the reports, saying the evidence wasn't specific enough. The problem is that actual armor values are classified. Players can't really provide exact armor figures because those figures aren't publicly available. So the community's argument is that they are being asked to prove something that cannot legally be proven in public. Meanwhile, Relikt, the Russian ERA, just received a major buff despite no publicly released documentation being provided alongside it. The result is a growing debate about consistency and standards when it comes to vehicle balance and historical evidence. And honestly, I don't think the debate is ending anytime soon. The dev server is still changing, data miners are still finding new things, and if anything major happens before Heavy Cavalry launches, I'll be covering it here. So if you want to stay up to date on everything that's changing, consider subscribing. Moving on, because there's a lot more to talk about. Not every dev server change has been negative though. The F14D and the F14B have received some meaningful improvements. The AIM-9L was replaced with the AIM-9M, giving the aircraft a missile with better flare resistance. The Phoenix loadout was also upgraded to the AIM-54C+ on the F14D Premium. So before launch, the aircraft is actually looking stronger than it was when it was first revealed. There's a community poll asking for a tech tree version of the F-14D, and it's getting plenty of support, but so far there's been no official response on that front. We'll have to wait and see what happens before release. Data miners also found several gameplay changes that weren't highlighted in official discussions. Spike and LMUR or the LMUR missiles lost their lofting behavior. Instead of climbing and diving onto targets, they now fly much flatter trajectories. That means vehicles using those missiles often need to expose themselves more when firing, reducing one of their biggest advantages. Then there's changes to the new nuclear escalation mode. The new game mode had its score limit reduced from 20,000 points to 9,000 points, and the match timer was shortened as well. This was discovered through data mining rather than being announced in the official announcements. The dev server is still live, which means some of this can still change before release. And with the M829A3 debate, the Relikt ERA buff, the Abrams armor controversy, and all the other changes still being discussed, the story is definitely not over yet. Let me know what you think about these changes in the comments below.